Hello everyone, I'm Nicole, a final year mechanical engineering undergraduate. So I'm guessing that most of you are here to figure out if NE is the course for you. And I'm here today to share my experiences to give you more insights into NE before you make a decision. So today I'll be sharing 3 NE experiential learning opportunities that I participated in as an undergraduate. So to provide some context, I joined mechanical engineering because I was interested in math and science. I wanted to study something more applicable to real life rather than something theoretical, unlike Sheldon from the Big Bang Theory, if you watched that. I wanted to get my hands dirty, build something, all that kind of stuff, you know, and that's how I found myself in NE. So I got my first break at doing so when I took part in Innoventure. Innoventure is an experiential module that provides students with the real-world opportunities to develop the skills to lead engineering, innovation, and entrepreneurship. So basically what we did in this was to receive a problem statement. It's supposed to come up with a physical product or prototype for it and ensure that it was financially viable to sell it. So the problem statement given to my team was to improve the mobility of wheelchair users by building a device that enables them to overcome the small flight of stairs outside their house. So as you can see in the picture. And then in order to get a better idea of the end user's problem statement, our team went to do visits and got the opportunity to interview and survey elderly who were wheelchair bound to understand their pain points. Also a process known as market validation from a business point of view, just so you know that we actually do learn some business stuff. Okay, so subsequently, my role in the team was to design the wheelchair ramp, which somehow still ended up looking like a rough sketch, even though I used a 3D modeling program for this. But thankfully, the good news was that I managed to prototype get the prototype 3D printed. It's in my hands, as you can see in the photo. It's kind of small though. So in the process, I applied skills that I learned from the mechanical engineering modules I took to do computer-aided design, consider the strength, the structure, materials used, and manufacturing processes to be used to produce the end product. So as an overview, Innoventure was my first foray into designing something for an end user as compared to conducting experiments in the lab. So it was a great experience because I got a taste on how mechanical engineering could be applied to solve real-world problems. So the next opportunity I got to have a hands-on experience was through my internship with Micron. Yes, that's the company that manufactures semiconductors, in case you're wondering. So for context, I joined them as a mechanical engineering intern to work on a project between NUS and Micron to turn a golf buggy into a self-driving buggy. So some of the tasks that the ME interns were working on in this project includes designing mounts to fit sensors onto the buggy. So quick question, can you spot the sensors? Quick, I'll give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's see if you got it. So some of the sensors include LiDARs, cameras, and encoders. So contrary to what you may think, designing a mount is more important than you would think. It's not as simple as designing a box, which just simply fits the sensors. The first consideration would be how to mount it to the vehicles, like which part of the vehicle can you mount this sensor to. And then the second consideration would be how to mount it such that it is stable, such that the onboard computer is able to receive accurate sensor readings to compute the subsequent velocity of the buggy. So for this, we have to go through a few test runs to ensure that the results we got were reliable. But if the test or results were not reliable, we have to go through the entire process again. But I guess this is how you learn, you know? Yeah, so something which I considered a small achievement by the end of this internship was that I even got myself familiarized with some of the industry standards with regards to bolts and nuts. You may not think much of it, but there are fasteners of standard shapes and sizes to be used in different scenarios. And once you're able to identify the size of the fastener best suited to the occasion, that's when you know you're on your way to becoming a true mechanical engineer. Okay, so aside from the mechanical engineering tasks, I also got the opportunity to learn a bit more about the Linux operating system, a little bit more of ROS, robotics operating system, and how a robot works in general. So for example, on this slide, I have a raw laser scan of the environment that the buggy was in. So this scan was taken for the buggy's onboard computer to read the map, compare it with its real-time laser scans, and identify where its position was on the map. But as you might have already noticed, this scan is a little distorted. So something new which I had to do was to use an image processing tool on Ubuntu called GIMP to edit the map, something like Photoshop. So I had to edit it such that it offers a better representation of the environment that the buggy was traversing in. It's like how you wouldn't want to use a poorly represented map to navigate around an unfamiliar place. So being able to apply my ME skills and learn things beyond that was great, as I really saw how different systems integrated with each other to culminate in a working self-driving buggy. So as someone who joined ME to build something and get her hands dirty, I really couldn't have asked for a better internship. So the last hands-on experience, highly relevant to my time as a mechanical engineer, I want to share is my experience taking the mechanical systems design module, probably otherwise known as ME 4101B in your syllabus. So the objective of this module is to work on a problem statement in groups, and then come up with a solution in the form of a mechanical product or system, and see it through the engineering design process from design, fabrication, testing, and finally to the presentation of the final product. Okay, so skills this module aims to help students hone includes dealing with team dynamics, going through the engineering design process, report writing, oral presentation, and project management. So for context, my team got to work with PSA, and the problem statement which they gave us, bear with me, this is a mouthful, is to design a remote controlled motorized trolley with a minimum load capacity of 100 kg to reduce the physical strain of manually transporting equipment between the berth and the workshop of PSA Marine, while taking both terrain and safety requirements into consideration. Simply put, we were supposed to come up with a remote controlled trolley for carrying loads up to 100 kg that was safe to use. So personally, for me, the best part about working in a team was having the opportunity to learn from my peers. So for example, I had a teammate who was really good with designing mechanical parts, and he actually designed and fabricated this screw brake system as one of the main safety features in this trolley. So this is the 3D animation that he came up with for the brake system. So as you can see, the brake pads at each end of the rod that is moving are actually what stops the wheel from turning. That's why this is how the brake system works. And this is a GIF of him testing the first prototype of his screw brake system. He was really glad that it worked because he took a really long time to come up with this and get it fabricated and things like that. Yeah, so he was a really good teacher in the sense that he patiently took the group through his design considerations along the way, so that we could all understand his designs and learn together. So actually, in mechanical engineering, when you work on group projects, right, sometimes teamwork is really very important. So you all get to learn from one another. Yeah, but do bear in mind that this is only one part of the project. There are many other parts of the project, such as designing the trolley's pallet, the thing that you put the load on, building the trolley's control system, putting the parts together, and going through multiple iterations of troubleshooting. Yeah, so with all that, we eventually came up with the prototype of Marco trolley. Marco stands for manual and remote controlled trolley. Yes. Yes, so on the side note, there are project groups like Bumblebee and FSA team, as Prof. Lim has mentioned. Yeah, so these are some of the project teams you can join for a more hands-on experience as a mechanical engineer. For experiential opportunities beyond mechanical engineering, some examples include School of Computing's Orbital Program, a self-directed independent work course in the summer for first-year students of any discipline. I actually joined this program with my friend. This program gives students the opportunity to pick up some software development skills on their own. Yeah. And then there's the STEER program, STEER being Student Trip for Education and Enrichment. So this was some photos from my STEER trip to Indonesia. We actually sailed from Singapore to Krakatau, a volcano in Indonesia. Yeah, so, and then there's also NUS's entrepreneurship program, where students get to intern at startups either locally or overseas and take classes on entrepreneurship at the same time. So other avenues to consider to widen your horizon as an undergraduate includes being part of a CCA, joining hackathons, etc. So many opportunities to grow both as a mechanical engineering student or NUS student. So in conclusion, I've shared some of the opportunities where I got to put some of my mechanical engineering knowledge to good use, as well as learned what I could expect from working as an engineer in the future. But before you go, I wanted to add a disclaimer that realistically speaking, it wasn't all butterflies and rainbows. There were times where the learning curves were steep and it was stressful getting by those times. But ultimately, you got to regularly ask yourself what interests you, what are the skills that are valuable to you, and work for it. Because Chance only favors the prepared. So as Dwayne Johnson famously raps, it's about drive, it's about power. We stay hungry, we devour, put in the work, put in the hours, and take what's ours. Yes. Okay, so all the best to you all. Have a good day and thank you.